So the book I'm reviewing today is a German book, and I read it, and then the translated version of the book. This is this book, um, Kairos by Jenny Erpenbeck, and translated by Mighty Hoffman. This is the International Booker Prize winner of 2024, and although this book has a lot, because although it's a very thin book, not only approx 300 pages, and so I wanted to do the review of the book. I read the book a month or a month and a half ago. This book is about a romantic relationship, um, uh, the romantic relationship, a non-conventional romantic relationship between a 50-year-old man and a 19-year-old girl, something very non-conventional and against the society norms. And this book starts. I mean, they meet in a under a bridge while they were waiting for a bus, and they develop this relationship very immediately, not immediately, but very suddenly, and very fast. Like generally, that doesn't happen, and the story moves around in East Germany when that country existed before the unification of East and West Germany in 1988, 1989, after the end of Cold War. So it has historical references, and any person who likes to have historical references in literature would really enjoy the book. And please don't get intimidated that I've said history, and you might sort of want to skip and not reading the book. This book is not just about history or anything else. This it has great literature, and it also talks about, as I've said, it all talks about politics. It talks about economies. It talks about ideology. It talks about music composition. It talks about people who the person who composed the national anthem of Germany. Actually, the Germany was divided. Germany was unified twice. So there was a unification of Germany in 19th century, and there was a unification of Germany in 20th century. So there is one was being done by Bismarck, and Bismarck was this politician from Germany who unified Eurasian Empire. This is actually the book. It sort of uh, sort of moves around in that historical chaos, that historical fiasco, all sort of debacle. And then the story sort of, I mean, they have the relation. The guy who's having a relationship with a teenage girl is already married to a woman, and had a kid, had a child, and has a child with a woman, to the woman he's married, and they are still in marriage, and he's having an extramarital affair, and that he sort of then that relationship at the in the middle of the book, sort of they the they depart because he says that I want to I think this is spoiler, so if you don't want to get your storyline ruined, you can sort of skip this part. But he sort of um, tell her to go on a break, and then she goes and have a relationship with a young guy who is around her age, and had intimacy um, with that guy, intimacies with that guy, and that guy is not and that guy sort of had feeling for her, although she was trying to sort of fill a void in her. And then the man who was having a relationship with 19-year-old girl whose name is Hans, he sort of feel betrayed that I just said you to be on a break, and the next moment you were in a relationship with a guy, intimidating. And so by the end, they don't have relationship anymore. The guy moves on, and at the end story gets very blurry. It gets confusing. But the guy asks her before they they sort of depart, and I'm going to read some the exactly what happens before the end or at the end. Actually, this is a prologue of the book. So, will you come to my funeral? She looks down at her coffee cup in front of her and says nothing. Will you come to my funeral? He says again. Why funeral? You are alive, she says. He asks her a third time, will you come to my funeral? Sure, he says. I will come to your funeral. I've got a plot with a birch tree next to it. Nice for you, she says. 4 months later, she's in Pittsburgh when she gets the news of his death. So they ended the relationship. Um, although, I mean, there were no official departure um, situation, but they they left each other and they are not together. And after for 4 months of this conversation, the guy, the Hans, the protagonist, the male protagonist of the story is dead. And so this is the one thing that I wanted to read for you. Next, before the first chapter begins, there is a very beautiful lines from a Greek philosopher. Those are, nothing exists but you and I, and if we two be not, then God is no more God, and down must fall the sky. So this is the other thing, and there are a couple of other things that I wanted to read for you. The 213 page. You were playing with big ideas. You took sentimentality for passion, feeling rotten for guilty conscience. Supposed you were even capable of love. That's deep. It hits hard. Uh, and the line, one of the other line on the same page, you regret the consequences, but not the fact that you lack moral discipline. And on the page 214, once more with boundless joy, my home I meet, once more fair, flowery meadows do I greet. On page number 215, my wanderer's staff I lay to rest, accomplished is my pilgrim's quest. And on the page 216, through penance and repentance, I have served the God who crowns my penance, penance with blessing, the Lord to whom my song goes up. And from the page 218, we have no footing anywhere, no rest, we topple, fall and suffer, blindly from hour to hour, like water, pitched from fall to fall, year in, year out, headlong ignorant. And from page number 222, here is one beautiful line. Although first I'm going to read some other line, but I'm going to come to the beautiful line. My dreams told me more about you than you did. Exactly. The best thing for any woman is not to love, but to be loved. From the page number 224, whether I talk, whether I don't, it makes no difference. Everything is used against me. Beside another line, there is yes, wonder why. And somewhere else, the circumstances were just the circumstances. So finally, I'm going to read that going to read from the page 248. So this information is is sort of the essence of the entire story. Like this line sums it up. The line will sum it up, the whole story, and it goes like, we lived for joy, we went into battle for the sake of joy, and we will die for it. Please do not associate our name with sadness. So this is all the things that I wanted to read for you. So this is the book, and I wanted to read the review of this beautiful book, and I've read it, and this is one of the books that I've finished uh, very quickly, and this is the book I'm going to read it because I really like the book, and that's all from my side.